This marathon opening season of the 2021 Nationwide Tracking Systems V8 Super Series continues, and we switch from the United States and Australia as the two continents that we've been to thus far, and also, of course, Brazil, throw in South America, North America. It's been a three-continent tour so far. We now switch it up to a fourth. Welcome to the first United Kingdom round of the season, the first European round of the season, bar one, of course. We've already been to the Hockenheim circuit in Germany, but now we go to the United Kingdom, first of three visits to this venue, as we welcome you to round 12 of what is now known, and I've already mucked this up once tonight, folks, apologies, the Nationwide Technology Systems V8 Super Series. We got stitched up earlier this afternoon with the name change from the brand itself. We only found it about 3 hours ago. Good evening, everybody. Zach Caban alongside Matt Davis and Chris Kisby. Welcome to our coverage of round 12 from Donington Park in the UK, the first of three British rounds of the season. It is our final super sprint of the championship, and that means fireworks ensue tonight. Very important round of the championship. Whether it's a favour of the drivers or not remains to be seen, something we might try and find out a little bit later on here for you as well. Welcome to Matt Davis. Welcome to Chris Kisby. Matt's not going to be around for too long, but we're going to pick his ear and prick his brain in just a moment. In the meantime, Chris Kisby, welcome to you. Back stretch of the championship now. As I said, it's been a marathon season thus far. 12 rounds in. This is round 12. And yet we've got 3 rounds in Great Britain in the space of 5 weeks to end the championship. It's going to be fun.
Oh, yeah. Good evening, viewers. Good evening, Zach, Matt, and JP in the background there. I hope you all well at the beginning of this beautiful week. But what a cracker of a race we're going to have a look tonight. But in note of interest, we have no rain Castilla tonight. So it looks like the top 3 there. We got Leonage, McNamara, Jones, Urquhart, Morris. They're all going to be right in the mix tonight with no rain.
Indeed they are. Fresh off the back, of course, of our trip to the Charlotte Roval last week. I got myself muddled up and twisted a little bit there in the opener, ladies and gentlemen. We've been to 5 different countries already. This is number 6. Of course, we've had Canada, Germany, Brazil, the United States, and Australia already on the schedule. Now we go to Great Britain, and we've got Belgium still to come as well. But we're looking forward to this all the same. Very good evening to you, Matt Davis. A lot to be excited about here, mates. Donington Park and also Silverstone in back-to-back weeks. Plenty to play for as far as the championship's concerned. And reverse grid racing always throws up an apple cart or two, doesn't it?
It sure does. Look, good evening, Zach. Good evening, Chris, JP, everybody watching at home and all around the world. Donington and Silverstone, look, great tracks if you're the creators of the track. Not absolute favourites of mine. I thoroughly do not enjoy these tracks, so it's sort of a godsend as well tonight that I wasn't able to get in the car to perform a hot lap, because I may have mowed the grass just a little bit more than what I have during the week and the previous hours leading up to tonight. I think that reverse grid racing, it's definitely going to mix it up tonight around here. It's tight. It is fast and flowing down the chute, or should I say the zigzags, as I like to call them. But it's definitely going to be tight, and a lot of panels are going to be roughed up tonight, I think.
Well, don't worry, Matt. We won't tell anybody or the viewers or anyone around the world that the wall that you hit has a dent in it.
Hey, look, that live stream, mate, that wasn't too bad, but no, that wall did cop a little bit of the 148 down the side of it, so...
At least they don't have to pump it up like they did at the MotoGP or repair it or something.
Well, that's true. That was the other night in Spain. Yeah. I'll get to that a little bit later on if we get time. Closing stages of qualifying here. We'll get to that in just a moment. But first, let's find someone that's approaching the main straight if we can, JP. And see if we can't get a hot lap in. We're relying on someone to stay on the track for 90 seconds tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Let's jump on board. Let's get Matt Davis to talk you through Donington Park.
Righto, into turn 1. Hard on the brakes at the end of the pit lane. Down into second gear, 120k now, 115k now. Out right onto the ripple strip, stay off that dirt, click it up, pluck through the gears. Into 4th, into 5th, as you shoot round to the right on the double apex here, down into the zigzag. Then you go left, right, left, right, left, right. Constant turning. Hard on the brakes, down into 3rd gear, sweep it through, round to the right, onto the curb. Come down mid-track, up into fourth, up into fifth, hold it flat through here, just before you reach the corner, lift, and then apply the brakes softly, and then bang, hard on the brakes, all the way back down into second gear, pull the car back up into third, out onto the curb again, come up the little chute here, hard on the brakes, back down into second gear to pull the car up, cut the curb here, not too much though, will buck the car up, hug it tight, and just ease the power on in third gear, then flat to the board down onto the first of the main back straights. Flat stick in here, into fifth gear, hard on the brakes, into the chicane, all the way down into second gear. Third gear for Leonage, as we see on screen. Out onto the second back straight now, coming down into the hairpin, into fifth gear, coming down hard on the brakes, all the way back down into first gear. Get the car turned right in, easy on the power on the exit, quick pluck into second gear, coming up the hill into the final corner, another hairpin, hard on the brakes again, all the way back down into first gear, round to the left he goes, and ease on the power to have, well, go back into pit lane, I guess, but usually ease on the power, pluck it into second gear, and hold it flat stick all the way down into your brake marker for the first corner.
All right, critical point of the championship for several reasons. As I said, it's round 12 of 17. We've got the 3 British rounds. We've got Donington, Brands Hatch is in there as well. And the other one escapes me at the moment. I think it's Silverstone. But we've got 3 rounds in the United Kingdom in the space of 5 weeks. Road Atlanta and Spa thrown in for good measure. Then we finish things off at Mount Panorama. Let's have a look at the championship points as we enter a critical point of the championship. And you'll see here that Massive Leonage is in control, just as he was in qualifying tonight. 16:21 plays, Rainer Costello 15:48, but Costello's not on the grid tonight. Alex Court, 15:31, having got up into second during the last round of the championship. Cameron Jones, 15:27, and then, of course, third, I should say. Ben Morris is 13:95, and Blake Urquhart, 13:51, 12:62 for Alan Dawson. Robert Chrisdale, 12:43, 12:35 for Sean McNamara, and Craig Schultz there on 11:59. I'll let that keep scrolling. Your thoughts on the championship at this point, Matt, and your thoughts on, before we lose you, what you think might, I'm having a shocker, might unfold tonight. And if your money was on anyone, who would it be, considering the reverse grid element?
Oh, it's definitely heating up now in the championship, guys. It's getting close. Obviously, no Costello tonight. Don't forget they do have the 2 drop rounds, but I believe Rayner has had a few poor rounds in the past already, so he's going to have to be wise on how he's going to do it. Obviously, he's going to take this one as a drop round. He's not racing, so not accumulating any points to be able to challenge Laz up the top. Laz sitting comfortably, though, up in first position and in pole position tonight. For qualifying, he's actually blitzed the field by nearly a second. He's about 0.6 of a second over Cameron. Cameron Jones just put in a time of 1:28.16. Yep. So he's only up by 0.4 of a second, 0.5 of a second over Jones, but he was nearly a whole second over the field. So he is going to be one to look out for tonight. He is going to be playing the clean sweep per se he's going to be wanting to do the 5-point pole bonus and the 5-point clean race. So one to look out for again. He's going to be doing damage prevention, but definitely heating up. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what the boys have for him.
Indeed. Now let's have a look at the race information as far as tonight is concerned before we go any further, ladies and gentlemen. There it is, Donington Park in the UK, 4.02 kilometres. Race 1 will be 13 laps. Race 2 will reverse grid, 20 laps there for you. 132 kilometre distance throughout the course of the night. So 33 laps. That's pretty easy to work out, isn't it? 33 times 4. 110 litre fuel restriction. No pit stops tonight. If you have to come in for damage, your night's pretty much ruined as far as trying to get an outright finishing position is concerned in race 1. But you might be able to capitalise in race 2, the front row start, if something was to fall away. In race 1 there. Fuel burn about 3.4 litres a lap, 1 set per race tyres there for you. The date and the time there, 10 o'clock race 1 start, 11:30 for race 2. Air temp 18, track temp 22, 8 kilometre an hour southerly winds there for you. Running out of time here. Matt Kisby, you're about to shuffle off, I do believe, but all the best with the GAC call tomorrow night, and thanks for stopping by as per usual.
That's all right, mate. I'll wait around for the race start, and you really are fumbling up tonight. The nationwide technology system is definitely through your one, because my name's not Matt Kisby, it's Matt Davis. Leonage and Jones hold out the podium on that one, so I'll let you take it away, Zach.
Thank you, mate. Massive Leonage and Cameron Jones, row 1. Sean McNamara, Alex Court, row 2. Ben Morris, Simon Vella, row 3. Jacob Brewer and Blake Urquhart, row 4. Row 5, Darren Corwell and Dean Powell. Row 6, Brian Cooper and Simon Chadwick. Row 7, Peter Crossingham and Matthew Hill back in the server. Wade Michael, Chris Barnes. Row 8, Craig Schultz and Ash Davis. Row 9, Robert Crisdale and Alan Dawson. Row 10. Then we go back to Michael Angus and David Kirby, Ben Siren and Lindsay Hobbs, 11 and 12. Row 13 is where you'll find Riley Simons and David Leslie. Row 14, Sam Katakazinas and Steve Vella. Craig Newell and Tim Mulford from 15, and Daniel Schultz and Scott McCune from 16. Lee Davis in the safety car. Will he get a gig tonight? Let's wait and see. Chris Kisby, quickly, your thoughts.
Yeah, well, can't go past Laz tonight, and it's going to be a throw-up between those top three. You got the 3 Holdens up there, 4 Holdens up there. Alex Court up there as well. Yeah, the 2 Fords following, Morris and Vella. Hopefully we'll get a good one and get a Ford up there in amongst those Holdens.
Indeed.
Going for McNamara tonight.
This will be an absolute beauty regardless. Donington Park normally throws up cracking motorcycle racing and British touring car racing. Let's see if it throws up good supercar racing. Round 12. Ready to go. Nationwide Technology Systems. I'm going to get that right. Racing now. Great start, Leonage. Beautiful conversion up the line. Jones tucks into second spot. The field scatters out. Trouble on the side. Trouble on the left-hand side. 2 cars in the wall, in the grass, 1 in the wall. Jacob Brewer, the other one, as well in trouble. Cameron Jones. Cameron Jones has slipped all the way down the order as well. He's had trouble at turn 1. But Lassif Leonage skips clear. What a start from the championship leader. Courts jumped up into second spot. Trouble at the back. Chris Barnes off the circuit as well. Jeez, we've had some trouble in the opening 3 corners.
Jacob Brewer and McNamara caught up in that starting incident.
Robert Crisdale, Riley Simons, David Leslie also caught up as well, Matt.
It's been a big start. Promoted Urquhart up into 3rd.
Just have a look at the static shots we got there tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Have a look at that. Beautiful. Over the ripple strips.
Done yourself well there,
JP. It looks like you're watching one of their... It looks like one of those credit packages where you're getting the special shots that you don't normally see during the race, but you're getting them in the race broadcast tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Out of turn... what is it? It's the last corner of the circuit for the first time. They'll go onto the main straight. I don't have that information. I'll grab that information. As they come onto the main straight again, another lap in the books. 1 down, 12 to go. So this opening race being 13 laps, 52 kilometres. This is a short, sharp sprint. And then we crank it up to about 80 kilometres for the second race. So Leonage, Court, Urquhart, Bella and Caldwell, the top 5 as we get some replays here. Matt Davis, talk us through it.
Start of the race on board with Jacob Brewer here, or the whole entire grid, as I like to say. Jacob Brewer looks like he just got a little bit, looks like Crisdale got a little bit of a shocking start, and then
here we go.
Brewer just came around on the outside and caught a little bit of grass and took out McNamara. So McNamara with a poor start already, and Brewer with a flyer. So obviously those two aren't going to mix. And then by the looks of it,
so Jones what happened to Cameron Jones?
Turn 1 would have just ran a little bit wide coming out on the dirt. So yeah, McNamara was a slow start there. Brewer into the back end of him, thought he had enough room. Jones coming down into turn 1 on the outside of court, goes to overshoot, locks the front right and just pushes himself wide onto the dirt. Once you're on that, doesn't matter if you're on the grass or that dirt, it absolutely spits the car out and you just got no control whatsoever. Lindsay Hobbs all over the back of Alan Dawson.
Got to be mindful as well, folks. And we saw this play a part last week. We got a little bit of trouble at the hairpin with Jacob Brewer around, but he's getting back onto the black stuff as we speak. That's on the iRacing server feed that I'm seeing at the moment. Onto the main straight, Lindsay Hobbs there in 15th. Now, one of the reasons I got the iRacing server feed open on my monitor here too, boys, is to just talk about incident points, because they played a part at Hockenheim. They usually play a part at some point during every broadcast. 19x is where incident penalties start being applied, and then every 9x thereafter. So be mindful of that. And we've got 10 minutes between races 1 and 2 tonight, folks. So stick with us, plenty to come here as I try and sort myself out and just kick into second gear. I've just hit the wall at the start of the broadcast, and that's why I'm just tripping over my tongue more than usual. 11 to go here as they make their way around. Massive Leonage, Alex Court, Simon Vella, Blake Urquhart, Darren Caldwell. And make their way down to turn 9 and 10 one more time. The chicane. Massive Leonage opens up a great lead over Alex Court. 128.53, Leonage. Now his qualifying time. Oh, moved down the inside. Nicely done. Urquhart and Velas fighting over the same piece of real estate. Good to see these two so far up the field. They are third and fourth at the moment, duking it out. Velas not going to let Urquhart through that easily.
Vella with a good showing as well on Sunday night to split 2 Scots. So him and McNamara actually had a very good run on Sunday night, so they're going to be looking to continue their runs in good form and really be up the top. Unfortunately, McNamara with the race incident at the start, but Vella, haven't seen much of him up the front of the field, so it's actually good to see the KFC entry, or should I say the Century Motorsport entry, up there in third position, battling out with Urquhart as well. So
this first race is scheduled for 13 laps or 20 minutes, whichever comes first. And being that the laps are about a minute and a half, what's that? That's going to be bang on. So, yeah, no safety car. If they get a safety car tonight, they're screwed on time, certainly, but they'll be okay. Matthew Hill sitting there in 8th position. I'm just getting word through me, no safety cars tonight. So, okay, interesting. Matthew Hill sitting there in 8th. And he's all over the back of Cameron Jones at the moment as they come down to the chicane. Left, right.
Wow.
Massive Leonage, Alex Court, the leaders. They've gapped the competition. Vella, Urquhart, Caldwell, Powell, Jones, Hill, Cooper and Davis, the top 10. Just looking at a couple of the big movers so far. Drive-through penalty for the 955. That's no surprise, really. So Davis is going to get a drive-through there for his involvement in that crash in the opening lap, I'd say. With the 43, and here comes Ash Davis into pit lane now.
Urquhart up the
Vella
inside
and
of
Urquhart. A little bit of hip and shoulder. Great piece of driving. Good stuff.
That's a tricky spot to get it done as well in a turn 1 as well, ladies and gentlemen. It's a very, very tricky spot to get it done. You get up on the inside, but you've got to be able to pull the car up enough. It's actually a lot tighter than what you think. You come in there with a lot of speed, you turn in, you go, no, I've got plenty of room, but it actually hooks back on itself as you come through. So Urquhart had the prime position there, pushed Vella wide, but if Urquhart wasn't careful enough, he'd be out on the dirt as well. Car 85, contact with 02, lap 2.
Mulford.
Tim Mulford with Jacob Brewer.
And Jacob Brewer. There we go. Some interesting stuff here in the opening laps. Lap 5 of 13. Reverse grid coming up a little bit later on for you folks. We'll be on our toes then. Don't worry about that. Matthew Hill sitting there in 8th. On the inside. Can he get it done? No, there's a little bit of
Bump and run.
Little bit of bump and rub. Nothing wrong with that. Hill goes through to 8th now. 7th. Sorry, my timing's just frozen, so apologies there. Dawson sitting there in 17th at the moment. Just bear with us here, folks. We'll get our bearings right. Hobbs in the 43. Side by side coming onto the main straight. The 43 is Benny Morris, who's had an all right run the last couple of weeks, but he's been on opposite tyre strategies to everybody else, Chris Kisby. This week, he has no choice. Everyone's on the same strategy. It's flat out, foot to the floor, right to the checkered flag.
Yeah, that's exactly right on that one. So they just got to take care of these tyres in the first little bit, and then they can push a little bit harder later on. So interim 4, so he's lapping it at 129 was his fastest. So up to 5 laps in the Ford there, so the current stint. Yeah, so hopefully he can push it up a little bit further. So we've got Urquhart, Vella, Power, all the Fords. given the Holden's a bit of a go up there. So hopefully they can keep going.
Down the
Jones,
inside.
hard on the
Jones.
brakes.
Whoa.
Nice one.
Switch back by Dean Powell.
Fourth.
A little bit of a bad drive out of the corner by
fifth lap.
Jones.
Jones will get him on the
Able to hold
inside, coming into 12, I'd say.
Yep.
Job done. Very nicely done. Onto the main straight. He continues his charge back through the field. It's all about championship points for him from here. He's already well enough behind Leonage and Court. He can't allow them to get too much further. Every result counts for Cameron Jones from this point forward. So too Cameron Veacock and everybody else that's chasing some points here, including Rainer Costello, who of course isn't here with us for reasons we've already explained. Michael Angus, some hip and shoulder here. Sam Catacazine. Craig Schultz in the thick of it as well. Here we go again. The run out the back section of the circuit. Nothing wrong with a little bit of teammate on teammate action, teammate v teammate. Ben Morris goes through on Schultz. Nicely done. Your thoughts so far, Chris Kisby? What have you made of it?
Yeah, it's been very tight. A couple of little mistakes early, but geez, I wish I could drive cars like these guys can. It just, I say it week in, week out, that if I could just get a handle on these cars, the way that these guys drive them, I'd be a happy man. But look at it, yeah, there really is the respect shown for each driver. The race room given. They're waiting for their chances. They're picking their times when they make the move. I've had a couple of good races the last couple of weeks and a bit of hip and shoulder and everything like that. So I'm really looking forward to my races this week. And it just amazes me. Sometimes I get speechless because I just watch these guys and I know what it's like as a relatively new person, how much concentration and how much it takes to handle these cars around a tight, twisty course. Now with these, you'll be touching the brake ever so slightly just to rotate the front end. Get it dipped in so that it'll get around these corners through the zigzag, around the big right-hander, under the bridge. Hats off to them all.
Just on that, Matty Davis, it's extraordinary to watch Leonage and Court just bolt clear of the pack. It's not the first time they've done it, but at a critical point of the championship, we always knew they were going to bring their A game.
Leonage and Court, once those two are together in a pack and they're out front, they actually work extremely well together. No team orders obviously for passing. It's all races on, but it's definitely they work with each other. If Court's out front, he'll give Leonage that toe. Court knows Leonage is quicker than him, but he will give Leonage that fight and make it difficult for him to come around. Unless he knows that he's definitely holding him up, he'll let them by. But definitely great teamwork between those two throughout the whole entire race, and it might be on for another 1-2 formal finish as well, ladies and gentlemen. So something to look out for at the end of the race as we go lap 9 of 13.
Matthew Hill's in pit lane at the moment. Now, you saw a notice on screen there that he was going to cover drive through the number 99. Race control obviously didn't make a light approach to his hip and shoulder at turn 11. They didn't obviously view it in the same light that we did, that it was just a little bit of a Rubbings racing moment. They've obviously deemed that was worthy of a penalty, and they've sent him down pit lane.
Grant Gill the other night.
Yes, exactly. So Matthew Hill, unfortunately, buried in 17th at the moment, but that's not going to do him any favours when it gets to the second race either, is it, Matt? Because if he finishes 17th, he's only going to start 16th.
Yeah, it's a bit of a misfortune for him. It's a bit of his own undoing as well. He knew he had a bit of a bump and run there. He knew. Oh, who was that up inside of Mac?
More rubbing racing.
Alan Dawson. So, and does he
Alan
give it
Dawson.
the redress? Yes, he does. By the looks of it, yep. Gives it the redress. So Dawson gives the redress, which is what Hill should have done.
Oh,
Again!
No, jeez.
I missed all of that. We'll
Can you
we'll
believe?
It was SlimSnap.com photography replay if we can, ladies and gentlemen, to get to see that replay. I completely missed it as I was looking.
Yeah, I think Sean tried to go round a bit fast and lost it.
Walk it through. McNamara obviously gets the old bump and run. Dawson gives the old should I say redress. Runs in a little bit hot, locks the rears up. Dawson has nowhere to go but in the side of McNamara. Gives him a little bit of help on the front end so he doesn't go around and back away racing they go. So, but no, Hill should have done the redress. Correct. But no, Hill should have done the redress in the nice fashion that Dawson just did with McNamara there. He would have avoided a drive-through penalty altogether. But also, race control don't take lightly to sprint rounds. They know it's do or die. And they want to see clean racing. They don't want to see push and shove to make your way through the field. So they won't be taking a light take to a little bit of a bump and run probably. So that's why he got a drive through penalty.
No.
Simon Vella on the look.
I tell you what.
Yeah,
Urquhart and Vella.
This is going to be a good
battle. This has been a cracking battle.
This is going to be a good one
This
tonight.
has been the best scrap of the night, hasn't it, Matt? Really, to be fair, this has been the best scrap so far, and it's about turned on its lid because they're about to go to the back of the grid and follow. Oh no! What about that? Comical, defining moment. Urquhart and Vella are swapped around. Vella to third, Urquhart back to fourth. Now, this I was just about to say, very shortly, these guys, as we have a look at Cameron Jones find a way past Dean Powell, around the same area of the circuit, actually, exactly the same and exactly the same way. Yep. What about that? Jones around the outside.
Powell wasn't as wide. He still had the drive. Just he pulled up a little bit slow in mid corner. He would have dropped back to second just to pull the car up a little bit more. So if you drop a gear just to pull the car up because you're overshooting it, you will drop 0.3 of a second instantly. So Hill all over the back now of Katakazinas, up on the outside to the chicane. Now this is one to watch. Does he get the over under? Does he get the drive out? Yes, you'll have a look into the hairpin.
Yes.
Definitely look into the
Not
hairpin up
the first
inside.
time he's had a look down there tonight.
Nope. Does he have
significant
overlap?
He got in trouble there earlier, but that time by is okay. So what's going to be interesting here, just watch this battle play out again, folks, because Hill's still under pressure.
Katakazinas goes round in the final corner.
Round on his own. Wow.
I think he just jumped through. Make it too tight through there, it will spin you without even any power. It's just the momentum of the car will actually shoot you around.
Replay. And ooh.
Oh.
Did he give him enough race room?
Damn Katakazinas, unlucky. Hey, what's going to be fascinating about this second race, Chris Kisby, and we get to it very shortly. Blake Urquhart, Simon Vella, will their battle resume as they work together through the field? They're going to have to hold off Leonage and Court firstly. So once they've dealt with them and Court and Leonage find their way by, it's only a case of trying to follow them and then try and not get engaged in battle too much per se until you're through the traffic.
Well,
then,
that's exactly
once
right.
you've cleared the backlog, you can have a crack at your own battle.
That's exactly right. I mean, when I'm coming through in my little races the other day, what I tried to do was just stick in behind the guys that were faster than me, as you would have noticed, and I followed them through all the slower traffic, tried to keep out of any of the garbage that's going on there, and hopefully the guys in front made the mistake, which they did, but then I ultimately made the mistake myself. But that's what you're going to have to do, is to try and follow and get a gravy train coming through and go through as safely as you possibly can. The guys in front know that you're coming, so they should be respectful of that, and they know that you're going to come at them fast. So I'd like to see the slower guys, okay, don't drive off your line, Okay, make the guys work to get around them, and that's why we have the reverse grids, so that they're not being running away with these races. So make the way through to the front. It's not going to happen in the first 5 or 6 laps, but it'll happen eventually, and you know it's going to happen unless you get some really good runs through, and they get slowed up enough that the slower drivers can actually get up there and be at the fighting end at the end of the race.
Indeed. Last lap at Donington Park. What a performance this has been from Lassie Leonage and Alex Court. We haven't seen too much of them tonight, as they have just cleared out. They've checked out. They've done a superb job, as we expect them to at this time of the year. And they'll set up a form finish. Last turn, checkered flag. Another race win in the NTS Championship for Lassie Leonage. He gets the job done in race 1 of the Donington Super Sprint.
Lights are blazing.
Excellent formal finish by those two.
Yeah.
And a stellar race. Had not seen them from the moment they left the grids. So those two checked out. Absolutely fantastic race. Simon Vella, congratulations on your first podium as well. Up in 3rd position. Blake Urquhart in 4th. Cameron Jones comes across in 5th. Dean Powell in 6th. Brian Cooper in 7th. Darren Caldwell in 8th. Wade Michael in 9th. Lindsay Hobbs rounds out your top 10, up 14 positions also. So he is the biggest mover of the race, up 14 positions, and finishes inside the top 10. So stellar race by Lindsay Hobbs as well, boys.
Yeah, most definitely.
In fact, big movers in that race. Hobbs 13 positions and Katakazina's 14 positions. I mean, that was pretty good in the greater scheme of things. No one else really worth mentioning in terms of positions gained. But the big losers include Sean McNamara. So McNamara is going to be one to watch in this second race. If he can clear the traffic quicker, faster, more efficiently, cleaner than what Court and Leonage can, it might be McNamara's race to lose this one.
Maybe. I was rooting for him at the start. He did have a good race over the week, or a couple of good races over the weekend. So he's in fine form, and he's actually coming off a race win not too long ago as well. So he's still he's got that momentum going. Unfortunately, tonight's first race. We all know what the sprint races are like. So they're a little bit tough. Unofficial results for you as well, ladies and gentlemen. Lasses Leonage takes out 1st position. Alex Court only a 10th behind with that formal finish in 2nd. Simon Valor and Blake Urquhart in 3rd and 4th. Cameron Jones in 5th. 6th position, Dean Powell. Brian Cooper down in 7th. Darren Caldwell in 8th. Wade Michael in 9th. And Lindsay Hobbs rounding out your top 10, only 19 seconds down the road.
Peter Crossingham was 11th, and Benny Morris. Matthew Hill got back to 13th despite that penalty. Michael Angus, Craig Schultz, and Ben Siren. Then Sean McNamara, Alan Dawson, Chris Barnes, and Sam Katakazinas to 20.
Very quick, we got Alex and Laz in the broadcast room there, Zach, if you want to throw a quick question to them.
We do. I was just waiting for the final page of the results. There they are. Sorry. Dead set. Give me some uppercuts. I've had a shock tonight. Robert Christel, David Kirby, Ash Davis, Jacob Brewer, Steve Vella, Craig Newell, then Riley Simons, Tim Mulford, Daniel Schultz, and David Leslie was a lap down. Behind him, Simon Chadwick and Scott McKeown. Hey, let's just quickly rip through and have a quick chat to these guys, because I suspect we'll see them at the end of the night when we talk about round results anyway. Let's go to Simon Vella firstly. Simon, well done, mate. Podium finish in the NTS series. Well, that must be a nice feeling given how hard you had to work for it there in that dogfight for 3rd.
Yeah, it was fun. First podium, pretty happy with that. Tyres didn't really last too well, but see how we go in the next one, I suppose.
Indeed, Will. What are your thoughts on? I mean, there's obviously no shortage of overtaking opportunities around here, but what are your thoughts on trying to get through the pack from the back of the grid now?
Just got to be patient, really. Hope that a few drivers make a mistake, get some easy pass, just try and be as clean as possible, really.
Mate, my suggestion, mate, let Laz pass you, get on his tail and follow him through.
Actually, that's not bad advice.
There's a round win at stake here, so if I can keep him behind, I'd like to do that.
All right, mate. Nicely done. Anyone you want to thank while you're here?
Yeah, obviously our sponsors, KFC. I can't really remember the others. I wasn't expecting to be on the podium at the moment, but yeah, obviously KFC. But yeah.
Updated championship points are on the screen there for you, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to fly through some interviews here. Thanks, Simon. Go and get them, mate. Good luck in the second race. We'll hopefully catch up
Do
with
it
you
for the
afterwards.
forwards.
Guys, thank you.
Nicely done. Hey, last of Leonard, Alex Court, well done, boys. 1-2 again. A tremendous performance. You cement yourselves as first and second in the championship at this point in time. There's no looking back. You two have proven to be the benchmark at the critical end of the season before, and we have no reason to believe otherwise as to whether or not you'll be the two to beat again, because you've come out and cemented the statement first up with a 1-2 here at Donington Park. But can you repeat the feat in the reverse grid race, lads?
Reverse grid's always going to be tricky. If Sonoma's anything to go by, I reckon just be patient and picking them one by one. You don't necessarily have to overtake a whole bunch of cars. Which will just look in your favour if you're patient.
Most of them are spinning in front of you anyway.
Yeah, I'm hoping I'll get some easy wins over here. So yeah, let's see how we go.
I was going to say that first race couldn't have gone any better to script for you, though, lads. You bolted out of the blocks. You got a perfect start. You had pole position by a staggering margin. I mean, what was it in the end? Just having a look here.
5 tenths,
Yeah, mate, more than half a second. Just an incredible performance. And it looks as though the track and you click really well together here. What are your thoughts on race 2? It's got to be about just patience and perseverance and damage control as far as the championship's concerned. A DNF here would be costly.
Yeah, it's just a matter of trying to bank as many points as you can. I mean, Collie was really good. That's probably my strongest Collie yet this season. So, and the track, I love the track. We haven't driven supercars here before, so it was a bit of a strange scenario for everyone because we're not following the iRacing calendar for this one either. So we didn't really know who had pace and who didn't. So we just did the best we could, work as a team, trying to get the pace. And some of the guys in our team in GSE kept on pushing us as well. My son Rehan, Dylan, they were doing some really hot laps and pushing myself and Alex forward. So thank you for the rest of the team as well.
All right, mate. We'll let you go because there's only about 5 minutes before we get started in this next race. I want to quickly get to Alex. Alex, well done. Followed the teammate home. A 1-2. You move up to second in the points, ticking all the right boxes, mate.
Yeah. Absolutely stoked for that. So, but yeah, only half the job's done now. So, focus on the next half, tune the car up, and get out there for the next race.
Just looking at the next race, what's your approach? Because everyone plays a reverse grid race differently. You've only got 20 laps. You've got to move your way through the field. You've got to do so as cleanly as you possibly can. It's going to be an absolute cracker from our standpoint. The cheer squad's cheering in me, saying 1-2 for you guys. We know you're going to be rear of grid. You know that all the rubbish is going to happen in front of you. What's the plan of attack here, mate? I mean, obviously it'd be nice to get back through to where you just finished, but what's the plan of attack? Because it doesn't always go according to script.
Yeah, look, obviously, first of all, you know, I love these type of races, so they just seem to work for me. So, but as with every race, you know, it's just head down, bum up, get out there, get the job done, and hopefully make up as many spots as possible.
All right, mate. We'll
we
check back in with the post race.
cheer squad out of our ears, we'll be right there, Zach.
Yeah, good one, Kisby. All right, Alex, go get it, mate. Thanks very much for that. Go well in this second race, and we'll check in with you post race again, mate.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Because not only post race will we have top 3 for the race, but also the round. So that may vary slightly, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just quickly get some thoughts from Matt Davis and Chris Kisby here, and I'll get that right again. Matt, reverse grid racing, fraught with danger for obvious reasons. Could be championship defining if the key protagonists were actually on the grid, giving Lazarly a bit of a hurry up, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Cameron Jones will be looking to bounce back, and so too Sean McNamara. This is an interesting setup we've got here for the next 20 laps or so.
Yeah, it definitely is. Lad starting absolutely dead last on the grid. So he's got a mammoth task ahead of him. He's got not only Vela, who had a stellar race in Urquhart, but he's also got Jones, McNamara. He's got Dean Powell, a couple boys from the E1 Sim Racing. They're going to be hard to pass. So he's really got his work cut out for him. It's going to be a tough one. Same for Cord as well. They're going to be coming from the very back. So it's going to be an interesting one to see how they manage traffic, how they manage their incident points. Does Laz actually decide to be greedy for once and use a couple to make some spots? I highly doubt it. Highly doubt it being Laz. And I think Kisby will agree with me on that one. But definitely it's going to be interesting to see how he tackles this one. Does he follow Court, or is Court going to follow him? Kisby, what are your thoughts, mate? Because it's all up in air at the moment. It's reverse grid. It really throws it up. We've seen over at Sonoma, it threw up a massive curveball. Costello obviously running out of fuel, obviously starting towards the front of the field, and then I believe he caught the drive-through. So it's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, Chris Davis coming to you from Donington, and I didn't even have to change my name through Interpol. But yeah, no, it's going to be great. As we know, and we had a little birdie in our ear earlier, that the strategy from Laz from now to the end of the season is a different one to what we've seen. He's going for clean racing. So he is not going to salvage any of those or sacrifice any of those incident points. He's going to go for clean racing, get the extra points as per his strategy. Now, I find as I race more and more that when I get these strategies in, even though it may not be working, you change it slightly, but don't change it drastically. You've still got to stick with your plan and see it through to the end. And that, right. As I say, you do make slight changes while you're in the race because something may go wrong. A case of instance the other night was viewers may be watching somewhere else and they see Luke Keamy and myself having battles left, right. So the other night we were going, he was in front, I was in front, he was in front. And it was due to, I had a bit of a slip up and let him pass. And then I decided, okay, I knew I had an extra tank on him, an extra lap of fuel. So in the first race, I used it and I got back in front of him and I pipped him there. But in the second race, I made a mistake, let him pass, and I thought, well, he's going to expect me to hit afterwards. But I'll pit one lap before him this time. And I almost pulled it off again, but not quite this time. So those are the little things that you change as you're going through. But the actual whole thing, you don't want to change it too much to what you've got in your head.
No, it all does come down to strategy at the end of the day. As we finish up our warm-up, ladies and gentlemen, the driver's going to be gridding up for us on the grid. We'll get that up for you in a moment's time. The reverse grid racing for Donington, going to be an interesting one. Lee Davis leads us off, followed by Scott McCune on...
Well, actually, no,
Lee Davis. No, my apologies. There we go. I've already fumbled that one up. Lee Davis, our safety car driver. Scott McCune and obviously Simon Chadwick leading us off the front row there. David Leslie and David Schultz following up behind. Tim Mulford, Riley Simons off row 3. Craig Mills, Steve Bella off... Actually, sorry, yeah. I've got to even it up because it's obviously first place is going to be... missing as well. So I'll have to. I've completely fumbled this whole page one up. Zach, I'm going to hand it over to you now.
I feel much better now. Scott McCune and Simon Chadwick will be 1 and 2. David Leslie and Dan Schultz will be row 2. Tim Mulford, Riley Simons row 3. Craig Newell, Steve Vella row 4. Jacob Brewer and Ash Davis row 5. David Kirby will be on the inside of row 6, and alongside him. Actually, no, let's not bother. Let's go racing. Off we go. Oh, dear. Bear with us, folks. I'm having a shocker, and Matt's obviously joined me in those ranks. It's contagious. You become like the people you hang around as they stretch into the first corner. 20 laps ahead of us, and we got trouble at the back. And sirens around the wrong way. And Craig Schultz as well. So already some trouble at the back in the early part of this reverse grid race here at Donington Park. David Leslie's going to lead the field away, having gained 3 positions already. Car across the infield, if you don't mind. Who was that going cross country?
I must have missed a spot mowing the grass earlier. Steve Bella through the grass.
9:25 Australian Eastern Standard Time. Those of you just joining us, welcome. We're going to continue along here for another 20 laps and then get stuck into a post-race show. It'll be about 30 minutes long.
Leonard's already
ladies
up
and
7.
gentlemen.
8 positions already up by Leonard. Going for 9
Yeah,
of Dean
great
Howie.
charge.
What a start.
And look who's with him. Alex Court's right there too. They want to go 3 wide. Oh, jeez, that's not going to work. Really? Somehow they pulled it off. Are you kidding me?
Simon
3
Chadwick.
wide through the chicane at 10. That's madness. Madness. There's a car pulled up on the inside.
Macca.
At turn 11.
McNamara. He's had an
McNamara in more
absolute
trouble.
shocker. What's happened
And
here?
we said-
McNamara.
Yeah. This is just really weird. Strange.
Corner before. It's the incident with McNamara, I believe.
So he's going to drop himself all the way to the back of the field and try and do some redressing, isn't he? Yeah. Wow. That's a defining moment of the
I
championship.
think he was the. I think I did see a 9.5 car though coming down into the chicane. He was all sorts of crossed up and gave Laz, by the looks of it, a bump on the shoulder. So 3 wide into the chicane ain't going to work, boys.
No, it's not at all. So this is the reverse grid race. Oh no, we've had more trouble further back. More trouble further back on this, the second lap for you. Quite a few. Blake Urquhart, Peter Crossingham have come unstuck. We're going to replay that for you shortly. In the meantime, Daniel Schultz leads, Riley Simon second, Robert Crisdale third, and Tim Mulford in fourth position. Oh no! 3 of them up at the top of the circuit. And that's compromised the other 2 as a result of that. Crossingham doing that to himself. Onto the main straight. Watch the charge of Leonard and Court here, ladies and gentlemen. 19th and 21st, respectively. Change for the lead further afield. And that's Riley Simons going through on Daniel Schultz. Simons now leads. So the NTS cars are sitting pretty because the boys down the back, Leonard and Court. Oh, hang on. Newell and Jones just showing up off track on my timing monitor as well. But Leonard and Court moving through unimpeded and pretty nicely at the moment. There's the 18 copping multiple car contact, lap 1, stop and hold 10 seconds. That's a big penalty. 18 to go here at Donington Park. We've got Sam Katakazinas with the fastest lap of the race, 29.80.
2 seconds faster than the whole field.
Yeah, that's
Almost.
extraordinary. Katakazinas, was it he that went bush bashing?
No, that was
wow.
definitely Steve Vella, I'd say.
That's huge.
That is a
Riley,
big one.
Riley Simons, Robert Crisdale, Daniel Schultz, David Kirby, Ash Davis, Tim Mulford. Tim Mulford and Ash Davis top positions. And Davis up into 4th. Yeah. My apologies. It's just not been one of our good nights, ladies and gentlemen. I'm having some issues with our internal live timing. Not to mention also a pounding headache that only onset at the start of the broadcast. So we'll persevere as best we can here. 18 laps to go, becomes 17 as they cross the line. Matt Davis was only going to stick around for the first 10 minutes of the broadcast, but thankfully he stuck around a little bit longer.
I'm about to shoot off anyway, mate, because obviously life commitments on the outside. But Urquhart on the back end of Alex here. Does it look? No.
No, not yet. Court's going to tuck in to that position and hold the inside line through turn 1. So that's actually nicely driven from Alex Court. But I'll tell you what, Urquhart's all over the back of him. Like Clive Palmer at the buffet. That's fantastic. Have a look at this.
Leonard
through the back section of the circuit.
Leonard. Well.
And that's critical because we're talking about Jones being one of the contenders to the championship. It might not be his night at Donington Park. We know McNamara. Actually, this is the last thing I want to get your thoughts on, Matt Davis. I know you're about to shoot through. I just want to get your thoughts on this. The trouble at the back. There was a car go off in the background there. We'll get back to that. In the meantime, Sean McNamara, he mentioned a couple of drop rounds at the start of the championship. He mentioned hoping to still be a championship contender. I think that evaporates. That chance is now gone after after this shocking round tonight.
Yeah, definitely gone. Leonage all over the back of McNamara now, having a look up inside the hairpin as the car goes right into the hairpin.
Wow.
Simon Chadwick, sorry, my apologies. Too many 9.5s, there's too many NTS cars in the system. Jones up the inside of Leonage into the final corner. Does he make it stick? Up inside well enough.
Oh,
Bit of a
jeez,
scrap
I'll
going
tell
on
you
in front
what.
of him with Chadwick in the Excalibur entry. Leonage now on the inside for turn 1. Chadwick goes to fencing.
And-
That is all happening. That is cars going left, right, the whole way down the straight. Leonage up on the inside of turn 1. Side by side, they go through to turn 2. All over the back of Chadwick now is Jones. Through the zigzags, they go down the hill, side by side. No, all followed back in a single file. Jones runs a little bit wide. Hard on the brakes, up the inside. Jones, it's gone. Runs it wide.
That's it. That's it.
Jones.
Jones
That
drops all
is-
that punches positions.
That's
He's
the
got-
turning
dropped
point of
all
the
the way
race.
down
That
the
will
order.
now let Laz run it to the front of the field.
Absolutely. This is just magnificent driving from all concerned, but unfortunately for Jones, he just clipped the 957 there, and that was all she wrote, because not only did the 957... Oh, no!
Gosh.
Ford's gone as well!
Oh, no, it was caught.
Wow, Chadwick.
Chadwick hit caught.
So it was Chadwick and Jones, and Chadwick and Court. Jones into Chadwick, Chadwick into Court. And I tell you what, before all of that, Matt, I have never seen Laz defensively blocked the way he was just then on the main straight. That was magnificent driving from all concerned.
Oh, it was ridiculous. I mean, one way to say goodbye to the crowd and run that through, though, I lost my breath at the end of that. I'm trying to nurse a sore throat for tomorrow night's racing, but it's not going to happen by the looks of it. But no, definitely,
No.
I've never seen Leonage that defensive, I think. Car 2, Jack for contact
O2.
on Vela, 0-2 on 005. So that's Brewer on Steve
Jacob
Vela
Brewer.
there.
Yep,
So
correct.
drive-through penalty for Brewer would have been. And now Crisdale is up into the lead. He's got the lead off Riley Simons there. But no, what a way to say goodbye, I think, boys. It's trying to save the throat for tomorrow night, but it's definitely not happening. And it's the nationwide, I'm about to say tracking, and thankfully I pulled myself up on that. The nationwide technology systems. We'll get used to that one, ladies and gentlemen, no doubt. Is definitely putting on a show.
I hope so. Thanks to you, Matt Davis, for sticking around about an hour longer than you were planning to. We appreciate that. And we'll catch up with you in the not too distant future, mate.
No, thank you very much, boys. Make sure to tune in tomorrow night from 8:20 p.m. also for the Goodyear Auto Kit run of our T2 series.
Yeah, trouble!
Action
There
in
it
there.
is.
Leonage in the middle of it all. Was there
We
contact
should
by
know
Leonage?
better than to just break off into normal conversation halfway through a reverse grid race. Have a look at this. Last of Leonage.
Up on the
Down on the inside. On the
Does he get
replay
greedy?
for SimSnap iRacing Photography. No.
He,
No.
how did he
touch.
escape
It was
that?
the
He
car
is-
alongside him.
Oh, Leonage is
No
just,
touch.
Was
he's
it
got an
Hobbs or
angel
Hill?
on
I'm
both
not
shoulders.
sure.
Angel on both shoulders, that bloke.
I think it was.
And he's
I
up
think it was Hobbs.
26 positions, ladies and gentlemen, in 7th position. What a drive
Yeah.
by Lathith Leonage. And it's
This is
only
just a
lap 7
superb
of 20.
performance. Absolutely. Whoa, 2x2 through the back section of the circuit. And Lassif Leonard's now a real threat in this race, a real chance at pulling off something spectacular here and
McNamara
putting one
fastest
hand
lap
on the
of the race.
championship in the process.
129.14. McNamara
I'm
on
glad
the
your
pace
timing
now.
screen's working because mine's stuck back on lap 5.
We'll bring
At
Chris
the moment,
Kisby and
so-
all this.
I'm
He's
very
been a bit
going on
quiet
there.
as we've been yelling in the background as well. Kisby, what are your thoughts, mate?
Oh, mate, I missed that first spot. Unfortunately, the Queensland weather is not being kind to me. Overheating a little bit from all the excitement. So I had to go out and get some fresh air on that one. But, oh, what a move. What do we look at this? Lassus up 25. Who's that? Vela up 27. Hills 18. So, look, it's It's exactly as expected in a reverse grid race. You got
Well-
the fast guys coming up through and showing the slower guys how it's done, and hopefully this respect showing Team Power on the replay.
Team Power's gone the wrong way around, yeah.
iRacing replay.
Into the last corner. Just to
Comes
mention as
down.
well, Lassus Leonos is now behind Simon Valla. He made the move on Daniel Schultz.
Oh,
27
Oh.
spots now.
So Leonard
shocker.
now effectively has the round win.
Yeah.
yes.
So
Absolutely.
if he was able
Doesn't
to
matter what
stay,
goes on from here.
if Schultz was able to behold Leonard, which would have been a mighty task, and Valla had made up a few more spots, Valla would have been taking out the round win. So definitely round win to Leonard. Now he's chasing down Valla. He's only, I believe, a couple seconds up the road, 4 seconds up the road, I believe. So
Yeah.
not far at all. He's in sight. So, but on that note, boys, I am now officially saying goodbye. Leonard just got clean
You can
track.
go
And
now,
everybody
I'm
else has got clean track. So I'm saying my goodbyes. 8:20 p.m. tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen. The Goodyear Auto Care Run
Look
event
forward to it, mate.
TGE series is going to be on. So tune in for that one, and I'll catch us all next week, boys. I'll catch Zach on Thursday night as well for the Gentlemen's Sim Racing Club.
Absolutely. Looking
Yeah,
forward to it,
better.
Matt. Thank you.
Thank you
Take
very
it
much.
easy, mate. Sprint racing Thursday night as well, so loosen up the vocal
Oh,
cords because we're going to be
that's
busy. All the
Getting
very
a
best, mate.
workout this week, isn't it?
Absolutely.
What did
Steve,
you
mate,
say?
thank you.
What did we say,
Lap
Zach?
9 of 20 here. And
Biggest lot of racing that we've had. One of the for you and I, anyway. Oh,
we've got a blind engine in pit lane. We've got a
Look at
blind
that.
engine in pit lane. It's Ash Davis flying
get
smoke.
the fire extinguishers
Now
on
the
it.
drama can. That's ridiculous, isn't it? Madness. All right. Robert Christow's the race leader. Let's go with Lassif Leonard if we can, because he's the man to watch. He's on
Up
an absolute
28.
charge at the moment. He's inside the top 10. His next target is Simon Vella, then Matthew Hill. There he is in position number 5. Vella and Hill ahead. Let's ride with Leonard. Crank up the... So riding on board with Lassif Leonard. It was a pretty clean lap. It was probably the quietest lap he's had in this race. But there is the target ahead. And that is position number 4. He is staring down at the moment. Vella and Hill, the next two on the mission list here for Lassif Leonard in his bid to get onto the podium and cement his place at the top of the round and continue to assert his dominance at the top of the championship. Chrisdale, Simons, Hill, Vella and Leonard, the top 5 at the moment. Here's Michael down the inside. Nope. Remains in 10th
Yeah,
position at the
he's
moment.
got
Now he
there.
gets the job done on David. Is that Michael Angus there in the 305? Or David Kirby in the 307? No. It'll be David Kirby in the 307. He's got the job done on Kirby.
307.
Yep. Nice. From the, of course, the CMR stable. So they're both running 3-digit numbers, 205 and 307. It's just I couldn't pick it up at that time.
It's getting confusing, isn't it?
So-
I know over on the other
is.
ones, Zach, we've got 002, 02, number 2, 222.
Oh, off the circuit! Off the circuit!
Who's that?
Serious
Daniel
pressure
Schultz.
there. And Daniel Schultz is going to drop down the order as a result of that. Michael goes through into 8th. And he's got a chasing pack behind him at the moment. Kirby, Hobbs, Court, Vella, etc. Here's Barnes in 16th. Oh,
Look at that.
gee.
Oh, he's still got his nose in there.
Tight tussle this.
Now that's a colourful livery. Look at that one.
Certainly is. There's no doubt about that.
He's-
Through into
he's
the main
just-
straight they come again. 8 laps to go. Or make it 9, rather. Up on the outside.
Chris Barnes.
Look at... I'm a bit worried about iRacing and their lack of fire extinguishers
yeah.
because poor old Alf Davis is still blown up in the pit lane. They haven't extinguished that yet.
Yeah.
Lap 12 and 20.
And I know what goes into the chemical compound of a dry chemical extinguisher, so yeah, it won't be good on the car. You'd think we were at
Some
a
of these
concrete
cars
oval, wouldn't
have... yeah, exactly. They've been beaten
got all the
from pillar
grass
to
around,
post
you'd
tonight.
think-
They
you'd
look
think
a
you were at
lot worse
Long
for
Beach.
wear. They look so nice at the start of the server, don't they?
They do. They do. The technicians
then
and
by
the
the end of
panel
it-
beaters, they do a great job during the week, bringing these cars back up to scratch, making sure that they look tip-top for the start of the race. And look at what these drivers do to them.
Yeah, exactly. Show them no respect whatsoever. Lap 13 to 20.
Not
So
bringing me
Christoph,
hands
Simon,
together.
Hill and Vella. We're riding on board with Vella. We're looking back at Lassif Leonage. A man in 5th at the moment. On their way out
Down
of
to
turn 1.
1.2.
Been a tremendous performance from Leonage to get back to that position to
It
be
is,
within
it
striking
is.
distance to the top 3. He may not
0.9.
get the win here, but he will.
Oh, he's on
He
the
will
grass.
give it his absolute all to get the podium. And I'll tell you what, I'll be interested to see where they are on incident points at the end of this race as well. There'll be
What do we got?
You'd be hard pressed to
Oh,
find more than
going
maybe
up on
2 or
mine.
3 with 0x. Ah, here we go. 344 car contact. So the 344 is going to come to pit lane for a drive-through. And that's Brian
Bit
Cooper,
of a
of course.
picnic in pit lane, I reckon he's going to have. Oh, look at that. What numbers? 888. That brings back some memories, that one, before he changed.
Stick around, of course, ladies and gentlemen. Post-race show coming up. We'll have a chat to all these drivers. Alex Court sitting there in 10th position at the moment. Hasn't got through the field as quickly, as efficiently as his teammate. But, uh-oh, hang on. Oh, no! Lassif
Oh.
Leonage has gone around on the exit of turn 11. That is a big moment here because it all of a sudden turns the equation on its ear. No longer is the podium within striking distance. He went down on the inside. That was
Tried to
all
hold
good,
it.
but on the exit, he's
Yeah.
looped it.
On the accelerator, just a touch too early.
He's absolutely looped it. Unbelievable. Bad luck for Leonage. However, no harm, no foul. Court sitting there in 10th at the moment, all over the back of Knight. Got the job done on the inside. So Court goes to 9th on the inside of Kirby. Oh no, jeez, he did well to gather that up, but it's not going to be enough to stop Kirby from going back through.
And just on a note there, Vella's got through past Hill. So Vella up into
So
third
Vella into
spot.
third. Oh, nice bit of driving there. The switchback from Court. Can he get the job done? No. Will he compromise his run
Oop.
through 10? I tell you what, have a look at that side-by-side action.
boys.
If Kirby can hang there, he'll have the inside for the chicane, but no, Court's got him covered.
Nice
Nice
drive.
bit of driving from Alex Court. Really good stuff, clinical. And Kirby now has the difficult task of trying to hold off Hobbs. Jeez.
The
Hairy
old
moment for Court.
rubber balustrade to get taken a caning there from Court.
A race 2 of the night here for you folks. Right, 15 to 20. 5 laps to go. Next time by the line for our leader, Robert Christdale. He's leading by 2 seconds at the moment. Over Riley Simons. Then Simon Vella, Matthew Hill, Wassif Leonage, Blake Urquhart.
Oh, look at
Have a look at this around the outside. Dean Power under pressure at the moment from the 88. Sorry, Dean Power is the 88. He's under pressure. Craig Schultz, Alan Dawson, around the outside.
Oh,
up the
tap.
inside. Oh, a little bit of a touch.
Tap.
I tell you. Well, that was hairy.
Now, viewers, you know how
20th is Tim
impartial I
Mulford,
am
of course.
and how I don't sit on the fence. And if you have a look at this, guys, look at this. Forward, Holden, forward. Don't worry about the Holden of Lasses. And then you got forward. So top 7, you got 2 Holdens.
Go
the forwards.
I want to remind you that the previous was an impartial comment from Chris Kisby.
Yeah, they were impartial. You know how impartial I am when I get into race control and race broadcasting?
Well, I was going to say more impartial in race control, absolutely.
Yeah.
Lindsay Hobbs and David Kirby. Lindsay Hobbs down the inside of David Kirby, job done, and holds the position as well. Kirby trying to range back up on the outside, but no. So Christoph Simons, Vella and Hill 3rd and 4th.
Yeah. Bit of a gap to Lasses.
If he can
5.5
stay there,
seconds.
If I don't want to put the mocker on it, but if Matty Hill can stay there, it'll be the first time that he's actually gone through a race without receiving a penalty from race control.
Oh, that'd be good, yeah.
First time that he's
mate.
finished in the
Good
top
point.
5 as well.
Good point.
I don't want to put the mocker on him, but yeah. The kid from Maitland going all right at the moment.
Yeah, I must say too, I've had a few good messages over the last few days about my return to race control, and put a smile.
Yeah, and
on my
rightly
face.
so too.
Excalibur coming around the corner there.
Doing a nice job.
Oh,
with,
into the grass. Into the grass.
Matthew Hill in the 99, finally getting some airtime. There he is.
Really
For all the right reason.
Yeah. But you've really got to concentrate and keep off that grass. So I'm practicing Alton Park at the moment for the up-and-comers on Wednesday, and in those little Kia Optimas, they're very, very unforgiving, even if you get half a tyre on the grass.
Yes. Yep,
and,
correct.
In handling, very similar to this, because you get, for me anyway, and as the viewers know, I'm a mid to rear pack racer, and proudly so. Got to give something you got to have a roadblock for some of these fast guys to try and get around as they're racing, make it a bit more interesting for them. But
Yes.
we still do trying our best to do that sort of stuff. I did have a comment earlier that for a mid-pack, rear-pack racer, nothing changes to whether you're a front-pack racer or a rear-pack racer. You've still got the same goals. You may have different people that you're racing, and you may not be racing for first, second, third, but it's important to you as a rear-pack to either beat your time or beat your nemesis, as we all know. Who's my nemesis? Mr. Luke Keamy.
Luke Keamy. That's right, correct. Oh,
Who's that?
We'll find out in a moment. Simsnap.com,
Yeah,
iRacing
big thanks to
Photography
Simsnap.
Replay. In Mulford,
Got
down the
some-
inside.
All by
He's
himself.
done it all on his own.
2, 3, synchronised. Holden synchronised
Wow.
driving team.
Yeah, I thought there'd be a
Seen
little
that
bit
a few
more
times this week.
to that than just a bit of synchronised swimming. But don't forget as well, the
Triple
666
car
is coming to
contact.
pit lane. car contact. Don't forget too, synchronized swimming is an Olympic sport. If only synchronized drifting was, those two
Yeah.
would have been in contention for gold.
Mate, you think the drag on this car here? I just can't see who it is. Mr. Producer, Benjamin Saron, the FRC car. Yeah, you'd think the drag on that would be not helping him very much coming through, but he seemed to be able to stave off that attack there for a minute. Oculair.
Round onto the main straight. So, yeah, I was going to say,
I don't know.
Oculair on board with Oculair on board with Chad Broadcasting. You just saw the Oculair on board, or aerial shots, I should say. Something they started, of course, over with the Gentleman Sim Racing Club, but Oculair are now, of course, the aerial shots being stolen by SimShip Broadcasting. How good to see. But good to see Oculair also branching out their brand as well. 43 car contact. And that's not really a surprise. That's Benny Morris, of course.
Oh yeah, well done.
I was going to say not the incident, and I apologise because I just had a big yawn. Not the surprise being Ben Morris, the driver. I'm saying the penalty for the incident is what I was getting at there for you, ladies and gentlemen. Daniel Schultz has just had an off-track excursion as well as Lassif Leonage and Co continue on. Robert Crisdale, Riley Simons onto the main straight. Simon Vella sits third. We're going to have. So what about Simon Vella? What a performance that's been.
Yeah. Well, if you look at this,
sixth to third, and then 31st to third.
You got 28 progression for both Lassif and Simon. So it's 28 gain in this second race. So hats off to both of those. They've driven just exceptionally well. Lassif, he is on fastest on track, and he's pulling in our little mate from Maitland Hill, and we'll see what happens there. I think he's got the Knights racing sewn up with finishing in this position. If it's correct.
Well, he'll get the 5 bonus points for pole position. He of course won race 1, so yeah, I do believe you'll be right.
Yeah. He'd got the points for the clean race in race 1 if he got it, but then he's picked up some points here.
So Robert Crisdale, Riley Simons, 1 and 2. We're going to have 2 new faces on the podium and 2 new drivers in the post-race chat for you here very shortly, folks. We'll take you through till about 10:15 Australian Eastern Standard Time with that. A little bit, I don't know, because we've also got to get our round podium in here as well. So it could be the same length the post-race show, could be a little bit shorter. We'll see how we go there. Final lap at Donington Park in the UK. I have to say, Kisby, the first race probably didn't throw up the most exciting race of the season, but the reverse grid racing here, much like Sonoma.
Oh, who's that?
Oh, jeez! Jeez, the race leader and second was it down the road as well. Oh no, it's lap traffic. It's lap traffic. Dan Schultz getting out of the road. Sorry to all the Riley Simons fans out there almost having a heart attack at my discretion. Robert Crisdale, Riley Simons, they're going to push hard now. This is the last lap. Crisdale cannot afford a mistake. This will be his first win in the Nationwide Technology Systems V8 Super Series if he can pull it off.
Really sets in too.
Absolutely.
You've worked hard all race to stay out front there and set yourself up for this. And I'm guilty of it too. You know, I set myself up for the race win. He has. And
the Simon Vella's right there as well, Kisby. I'm going to come back to you in a moment. We're coming into the last corner. The checkered flag's in the air. This is a moment to savour for Robert Crisdale. His first win in the Nationwide Technology Systems V8 Super Series. He gets race 2 under his belt in the Donington Park Super Sprint. What about that? And second to Riley Simons. Third to Simon Vella. Matthew Hill not too far away in 4th position. Just holding off the likes of Blake Urquhart
1,
And
3, and 4.
Massive Leonage. Leonage gets home in 5th. Leonage in the end was only 0.4 of a second away from Hill.
Congratulations
That
to the
was
Dragon
cracking
RC
racing.
Sport guys.
Absolutely. And Blake Urquhart there in 6th. Alex Court 7th. Wade Michael, Lindsay Hobbs, and David Kirby make up the top 10. Robert Crisdale is going to have his opportunity now to celebrate in grand style.
Oh, yeah. Get the cool down lap done
Continue what you were
first,
saying
Robert.
earlier there, Kisby, because you were right about exactly what you're saying. It takes an incredible amount of concentration when you've done 95% of the job
Oh.
to then do that last 5% and not muck it up.
Well, I mean, you've seen it watching me come through with the up-and-comers there the last couple of weeks. I've had really good races. I've put myself into positions to win the race and win them comfortably. And trying to hold that concentration, and I think one time I just caught a glimpse of P2 in my mirror, and that was it. The concentration was gone. I was more worried about him in my mirror than watching where I'm going. So it happens to the top guys. Oh, post-race, penalty 2. 957.
No, to car 957 for contact on the 888. So 957. As we roll down the order is Chadwick.
Yep.
Yeah.
On the 888, which is Alex Court.
Alex Court. So Chadwick's going to cop a post-race penalty. Not sure exactly what that'll be as yet, but the stewards will have their work cut out for them, and so will timing, making sure that everything checks out. So too our championship points matrix system. Probably 15 championship points coming away with Simon Chadwick there in terms of that's what he'll lose, that's what he'll surrender as a result of the post-race penalty. Have a look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Robert Crisdale puts the FORDs in victory lane. Chris Kisby, that's something that makes us both smile.
Oh, mate, yeah, Joe, you good thing. Oh no, well, I'm gonna have to give him a 1 out of 10 for his post-race burnout. But I'll have a chat with him about that when he gets in here. Oh, wow.
Right.
Oh, no, here he goes. Now he's got control. More front brake.
That was just a little bit messy.
Away.
There we go. That's much better.
That's much better. Oh, yeah. Lacking
first
a little bit of
time he's had the chance to do that. Not too bad for his first time. Car 12, contact on car 205. That was Lindsay Hobbs coming together there earlier with Michael Angus.
205.
And,
Michael Angus, yeah.
Yep. So, unfortunately, he'll cop a post-race penalty as well. Robert Crisdale, nice sight that, isn't it? 5 and 5. Fords and Holdens, and very nicely done. Robert Crisdale, Riley Simon Vella, and Matthew Hill, then Lassif Leonage. 3 Fords, 2 Holdens in the top 5. Blake Urquhart, Alex Court, Wade Michael, Lindsay Hobbs, and David Kirby. Let's go over the page.
The next one for you if you want. P11,
please
Chris
do.
Barnes, Benjamin Siren, Steve Vella, Michael Angus, Simon Chadwick, Brian Cooper, Sean McNamara, Craig Schultz, Craig Newell, Alan Dawson takes you to the 20 position. Darren Corwell, Dean Powell, Tim Mulford, Daniel Schultz, Cameron G. Jones, Ben Morris, Jacob Brewer, David Leslie, Ashley Davis, Sam Kirtikazinas up to P30. And that rounds out your field for the night.
Very nicely done, Chris Kisby. Thank you. A big thank you to you and Matt Davis for carrying me this evening. There's no doubt about
no
that.
Effort at all. No effort at all. You're only a light fella.
Well, yeah, true. We'll get the post-race show underway. I know. We'll get the post-race show underway for you very, very shortly, ladies and gentlemen. Huge thanks to all the people that make it possible for us to do what we do. And I want to touch on something here that I didn't get a chance to touch on a couple of weeks ago, and that is in relation to our NTS series as a whole. We ran out of time with so much happening during the Interlagos Enduro that we didn't get to mention that was the 50th race of the championship since the inception of Real Sim Racing as a league in 2020. Lassif Leonage, Blake Urquhart remain the only gentleman to have started in every single race now that we've had 52 of them. Just extraordinary numbers there as well. So really, really good to see Real Sim Racing going on gangbusters, and all these guys being committed to turning up every week to be a part of that.
Just while the guys towel themselves down and get ready to come into the broadcast room there, the Wednesday night, the lowest split of this type
The
of
feeder
racing.
split,
How do you
yep.
think how do you think I'd fit in there, the Dev Series?
You'd fit in. I don't know if you'd fit in. I don't know if you'd fit in terms of numbers because the fields are usually chocker. But you'd fit in with them. They have a cracking scrap.
The only problem with that is, mate, it's a Wednesday night. And
Exactly,
of course,
that's right. Which means that rules
change
you
the
out
night,
with us
JP.
rough and comers. That's it. Oh dear. Right, there's some highlights coming your way, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get these guys in for post-race
let's
chat
get 'em
here,
in.
shall we? Alex Court is here. Lassif Leonage is here.
Race winners.
We're going to get Robert Crisdale in as well. Everybody's in here, which is good to see. I want to start.
We got the producer in our ears. So
Yeah, I was just trying to catch that message again, actually, from our producer.
we'll wait
Because I
to
missed
see
half
what
of
he.
it. Copy that. Okay, so JP's going to try and work on points and round winners, etc., and so forth. We'll get to that as we go here. Robert Crisdale, in the absence of Rainer Costello, someone had to fly the forward flag, and it was you, mate. Very nicely done.
Well done.
A reverse grid race. You worked your way through from 13th. Yeah, that must be a nice feeling, getting the monkey off the back and getting your first win in the NTS.
You betcha it is, yeah. The first race was a nightmare. I don't know what happened there. I think of lack of preparation, to be honest. I just wrong set. I actually had my rig over at John at Racecraft. I'm in Perth, so he was fixing my rig up. Didn't have much time to put it back together. So anyway, all things was going on. The first race was a bit of a wipe, but that second race, I felt like Jack Miller. The last few laps, I was saying, run wide. Oh my God.
Thought you'd done it. But yeah, no, I'm going to have words with you about your practice. But you've got to get into the practice of doing your burnouts after the race. That was a pretty poor effort.
Can you tell I don't win much?
Congratulations, mate.
I
It's
know,
good to see the blue oval up there again.
Thanks, guys. That's a pretty happy moment for me. So not often I do this, so especially up this far at the end. But thanks to everybody. Thanks to JP Simshed, Nationwide Tracking, Goodyear, Dragon RC. The boys at Dragon RC will be over moon, seeing that car up the front. DCL Welding, Brucey Australia. VR covers, Cars for Hope, Racing with Autism, and of course, my sponsorship, Blue Stampede Labour Hire. So.
Very, very good that you mentioned that, because I've got to mention our sponsors as well, ladies and gentlemen. For some reason, they'd gone missing on my computer screen here halfway during the call, but let's give them a nod now. You've heard a couple of them already. Nationwide Tracking Systems, which is now Nationwide Technology Systems, so our blurb's going to have to get an update as well. Racecraft Simulations, Blue Stampede Labour Hire. I'm like Anchorman, I'll read what's exactly presented in front of me. Hybrid Racing Simulations, TJ and Parramatta Dragon RC, and Abritzi. Track cams for Gourmet, and of course Melbourne Hydrographics Depot as well. Hey, Robert, let's focus on that second race. Forget about the first one, because as you say, it was a bit of a write-off, but the second race, that couldn't have gone much better. I mean, you weaved your way through the traffic. A couple of the drivers ahead of you moved out of your way voluntarily by putting it in the grass or in the dirt. It opened up nicely for you. You ended up in front pretty early on and stayed there. Were you expecting the reverse grid race to be that easy?
Not really, no. Probably helps that there's 5 of our cars that were up the front in front of us, but in front of me. But even still, you still can run into each other, which is, I'm sure JP would have thrown his fist at us if that was the case. But just to get the front is one thing, but as you can see, everyone was making mistakes. I mean, Simon was coming, Matt was coming, mistakes were starting to creep in, concentration. So it doesn't matter what it is, what series you're in, you really got to focus hard and pick yourself and just do those corners, do those markers, and get it to the end, basically. So.
It brings you to the point, and Zach and I talked about it during the race there, during the last couple of laps there, the concentration needed by you, knowing that Laz and Alex and all them are coming in behind you and to get the points there. And then in that final lap, second last lap, final lap, you you had a little bit of a mistake there. How hard is it to keep that concentration, knowing these guys are coming at you?
Oh, it's very hard. Yeah, especially when you're not used. I guess you're not used to. I'm used to be the one being the chaser, so
Yeah, me too.
I tend to be like that myself. When you're out in the front, you're going, "Oh, this is a bit different." So you're the one getting chased. So you know, I had Riley in my ear giving me the gaps, which is, you know, often I just like to be quiet.
Yeah.
Also, oh, he's 3 or he's 2. Oh, jump. So, but you know,
I hear you, mate. I hear
that's
you.
all part of racing, though, to learn the skill of actually being out in front. So, and you know, I was trying to save my tyres a little bit as well. So if Simon or Matt did get to me, well, I had something a little bit left at the end as well. So, but anyway, that's good to get across the line on first. Do a somewhat suspect burnout,
Awesome
but
job.
you know, that's what it is.
No, you did well, mate. Stay with us. We'll come back to you very shortly. There's a couple of more questions that we can probably ask you here along the way. But for the moment, I just want to bring in everybody else. Preliminary round points. I've just got a message here on the screen. Just having a look at it now for you. It's going to be P1, Lassif Leonage, 161 points. P2, Alex Court, 148. P3, Simon Vella on 146 points. The round points for this NTS outing, the second and final Super Sprint. So it's interesting, isn't it? We got along the way here, folks. We've got 2 Enduros, we've got 2 Super Sprints, and 13 sprint rounds. It's a massive undertaking, as I said, a massive season continuing. This is what I finally got the number. I think it was country number 6 of 7 we visit to this season. Belgium still to come, of course. And these guys are working hard for their money. There's no doubt about that. So on that note, let's bring in Riley Simons, because he finished second in that race on the podium from 7th on the grid. I'll come back and have a chat to you and Robert about race 1 a little bit later on if we get time here, Riley. But congratulations on bringing it home in second position. A couple of the guys that were giving chase, they ran into some trouble, not least, of course, your teammate looping it at turn 11. We'll get to him on that in just a moment. But tell us about that race from your perspective, considering that you started 7th, so you had Robert blast on past you, and it looked like you were able to follow him through and give good chase right through to the very end, but just not close enough.
Yeah, thanks, guys. It was probably one of the hardest races I've ever done in my sim career. It's been pretty short, but I had a plan from the start. I was near the front, but it all went out the wall when I bagged it up off the start and went absolutely nowhere. But managed to stick through, and Rob got past me. I just managed to tag on, and yeah, the rest was history.
Indeed it was. No, great performance. You said that's one of the hardest races, but you've got to be happy with the result of that second race, given the caliber of drivers that were giving chase that weren't able to catch it.
Yeah, it's, like, honestly, I'm over the moon. Like, I never thought this would happen. I didn't know I was capable of this happening to me, but we got there. But yeah, I had Laz in my ear telling me he's coming. And then, you know, he said he spun out, and it was sort of a sigh of relief. But the guys at the end there, Simon and stuff, they were charging hard, and my fuel was not looking good.
That's where you put him on mute there, Riley.
Wish I could. I can't operate too many buttons when I'm driving because I'm just hanging on for dear life.
I hear you, mate. I hear you.
There's our cameraman working hard at Donington tonight. Have a look at that. There's 2
Oh,
of
look
them.
at that.
One in the shot and one behind the camera.
Like JP.
Excellent stuff. Hey, let's continue on here. Riley, let's continue on here with you for the moment. Donington Park, difficult track to master, or did you quite enjoy it?
This is probably one of the tracks I picked up pretty much straight away. I know this track from my previous Superbike experience, so pretty much second nature this circuit, but trying to wrestle a car around here was pretty difficult, but a little bit of practice got us there.
Yeah, 4 wheels is harder than 2, isn't it?
Yeah, much difficult.
I was going to say too, boys, we had sprint racing tonight, Chris Kisby. Here's an interesting observation for you. Heat 1 was scheduled for 20 minutes or 13 laps. We got there in 19 minutes and 28 seconds. Heat 2 was scheduled for 30 minutes or 20 laps, whichever came first. 30 minutes and 26 seconds. The timing, perfect.
Oh,
From
look
the
at
Shed
that.
broadcasting team tonight.
why
Don't
you're
worry
the
about
chief.
that.
That's why you're the chief race caller there, Zach. It's a Mr. Statistic. Let me get it out. Mr.
Yeah.
Statistic. He's got them all there, boys. So just don't do anything wrong because he'll pick you up on them.
Not after tonight. I've had an absolute. I'm looking forward to. I've never said this after a broadcast. I'm looking forward to sleep. For some reason, the body clock has just shut down. The head's pounding. I'm looking forward to getting out of here, but not before we talk to all these great drivers and hear from them and say a big thank you to their broadcast sponsors and, of course, their personal sponsors and everything else as well. Look ahead as far as
You know what?
Simshed Broadcasting is concerned. Now, let's just quickly, while I have a look at a message that's just come in from my director here, let's just throw the floor open here to Lassif Leonage and say, well done on the round, mate, but also just talk us through what happened there. Because at one point we were rooting for you on the podium. We thought the charge is on. He's going to get back to he might not get the win, but he's going to get to the podium, and then it all come unstuck at turn 11. Just talk us through that, please.
Yeah, the charge was on. I knew I had the pace. It's just my old knee was giving me trouble again in the second race. So I was trying to not to brake too hard, but coming onto the hairpin, if you don't brake hard enough, you're not gonna make it. And I looked like I was gonna hit Matthew, and I had to get on the anchors a little bit hard at the end and just looped it. So that cost me probably 7 or 8 seconds. So after that was just trying to hold on to my fifth position there. So I mean, I knew I had the round win, so just wanted to make sure that I did not make any mistakes.
I'm going to come back to you.
Oh, yep.
No, you go, Chris. You go. If you want to ask Laz the question, jump in now.
Yeah, I was just saying, Laz, we know that your strategy is for incident points to be 0. So once you got those points, think, okay, well, we'll throw that out the window and we'll just go harder.
Once I get in the reverse grid, I got my first incident point quite early. So after that, I didn't really care. I was just trying to use all the track, and if I have a couple of off tracks, not a big deal. But it was just a matter of making up spots, because 5 points bonus means 2 to 3 spots on the grid, on the finishing order. So in the reverse grid, you can make a lot more spots by being a bit more aggressive. So that's what I had to do.
Yeah, congratulations on the round win there, mate. And thanks for being with us in the broadcast. And from my point of view, I learned absolute massive things, as I do every week, watching every single one of you guys that are in the broadcast here now. I watch, and it helps me in my racing career. So thank you very much to you guys. Back to you, Zach.
Kisby, I'm just going to vouch for what he was saying there too, ladies and gentlemen. Chris Kisby has a notepad in front of him, and every Tuesday night he's literally just jotting things down, making note, learning from these guys and putting it into action the next night when we're working with another organisation. So let's throw it around the room. I want to come back to Laz and focus more on everything else there when I can, because I want to go to young Simon Vella first if we can here. When Chris Kisby's asked a little bit later on for his Driver of the Night nomination, I get a feeling he's going to say Robert Crisdale because he grabbed a race win. But you're going to get my vote because you went 6th to 3rd in the first race and 31st to 3rd in the second. There aren't too many people that finished the first race and the second race in the same position. You had an almighty run through the field.
It was quite chaotic. I'm really surprised I didn't get involved in any accidents, to tell you the truth.
Talk us through the charge, mate, because obviously you had to count your lucky stars, really. The fact of the matter is that, as you said, there was a fair bit of carnage around, and you were able to avoid the chaos. You got lucky tonight in that regard, but when you got towards the front, it was just a matter of staying consistent and keeping it on the black stuff. How much pressure did you feel as you were driving through the field here?
I didn't get much pressure until I seen Laz start to get close. I'm thinking, he's going to be on to me soon. So I started to just look after the tyres a little bit, be prepared to battle him, and then I got into 3rd spot, and there was a car between us, and I seen he made a mistake, and I felt a bit more comfortable after that, and then started trying to push and get 2nd, and then just ran out of time.
Indeed. Now, just on that, let's have a look at the race results here. The fact of the matter is that you were 1.2 seconds away from the race victory there at the end of that second race. You came home with a wet sail.
Yeah, well, 1.2 seconds. It would have been nice to get the win. But again, I'm just happy to have finished that race with the amount of carnage that was going around.
Indeed. Hey, when everything's ready, we'll obviously have a look at the championship standings and have a chat about the last, 5 rounds of the championship. But I want to get through a couple of more driver interviews first here before we rock and roll. Alex Court, let me go to you. Stay with me. Robert, Riley, Simon, stay with me. I'm coming back to you. Laz, I'm getting to you again very shortly as well. But in the meantime, let's go to Alex Court. Interesting second race. From 32nd to 7th, you weren't quite able to go all the way with Laz, but it wasn't without its moments.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It doesn't help getting taken out.
Exactly. Talk us through it, and obviously, not only talk us through the incident from your perspective, but also talk us through the mindset that you've got to just put that out the door, so to speak, and just get on with the task at hand, and then go into salvage mode, for lack of better terms.
Yeah, pretty much. Look, sort of the same as when you asked Laz about incident points. So I was hoping for a clean second race up until whatever lap that was. It had been clean. After the incident, though, you know, same motive and same saying. You know, head down, bum up, just salvage what I could. So I use that as determination to make those positions back up. So rather than, you know, blow it up over comms, or which I know you're not allowed to do, but or in Discord to the teammates, you know, it's I use that as, you know, motivation to get those spots back.
I must say, Alex, watching you through the race there, this no soft drink gig that you're on at the moment has made you a very angry man, and those poor rubber bollards that are on this track are really cursing you for not having soft drink, because you hit a few of them as you were coming around. I don't know what they did to you.
Well, once I got the 4X, I was like, well, I need to worry about it.
Have some fun. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So just smash them and try and make up the spots and time.
Great drive, mate.
Yeah, no, it was a terrific drive and nice bit of redemption. And just quickly too, boys, I have it on good authority, and I'll confirm everything in just a few moments. But the clean races for the night as well, it's important to note. I'm just going to bring it back up on my screen here. It disappeared for a moment. Clean races, Lassif Leonage, Alex Court. So obviously for Alex, it's 1 rather than 2. Darren Caldwell and Sam Katakazinas there as well. So clean races at some point tonight for those guys. So some bonus points from the Kitty as well. That's really nicely done. Yeah. Alex, that's got to be nice to get through this round though, because now we get into the bigger races of the season. You know that it's just one race for the night. None of this reverse grid stuff, trying to fight your way through, getting caught up in other people's garbage. And now you guys can firmly focus your attention on trying to secure a Team 1-2.
Yeah, definitely. Look, there's always going to be cars, you know, back markers that you're going to have to be careful of, and yeah, but 100%, you know, focus on the team championship now, 1-2. You know, that's what we want. So tonight has helped massively with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Now I'll come back to you very shortly, and we'll throw a couple more questions your way. Yeah, let's rip the Band-Aid off and have a look at the round points, shall we? If we can. Actually, no, let's just have a look at the championship points. Over championship points. Lassif Leonage. He's opened up a very healthy lead right now. Have a look at that. 1782 plays 1679. And then another 30 points back from Court to Jones. Costello 101 points back, but he'll come back into the equation with drop rounds potentially. But yeah, it's looking like a 2-horse race at the front of the field after 12 rounds. Leonage and Court well clear now. That was the little helping hand they needed, because Cameron Jones didn't have the best night at the office, it's fair to say.
Yeah, school
Just
camp
looking
hasn't
down the
played
order.
really well
Actually,
for Rayner, has it?
second, yeah, that's right. Second and fifth qualified and race results in race 1 for Jones. Second race, 29th and 25th. He was started 29th and finished 25th. So a shocking night for Cameron Jones. That's one thing we missed in all of that, Chris. It'd be easy enough to do tonight. Unlucky to say the least. Now, just having a look there, we've lost Mr. Vella, but we've lost Mr. Vella, but we'll hopefully get him back before the end of the broadcast here. I think he's just dropped down into the green room, so we'll bring him back up in a minute. So yeah, Lassif Leonage sits there comfortably in position number 1. The margin accelerates out over 100 points now, biggest margin of the season to this point. Ben Morris is 5th. That's a really good performance from him. Blake Urquhart, Alan Dawson, Robert Crisdale, Sean McNamara, who also had a shocker tonight, one to forget, and Craig Schultz in there for 10th.
Going over the page, Scott McCune, 12:42, Jacob Brewer, 12:31, Barnes, 12:30, Ashley Davis, 12:11, Daniel Schultz, 12:06, Sam Katakazinas, 12:05, Tim Mulford, 11:74, Steve Vella, 11:48, Simon Chadwick, 11:38, Benjamin Siron, Kieran, 11:24.
Dean Powell into 21st position with 1120. Then Darren Caldwell, Lindsay Hobbs, Craig Newell, Wade Michael, David Kirby down there in 26th position. I don't think he'll be too happy with that. Brian Cooper, Peter Crossingham, Simon Vella, who we were talking to a few moments ago, and we'll get back to in just a moment, and also Riley Simon. So interesting to note there that those two guys were on the podium in that second and third race, but they're buried in the order as far as the championship is concerned. Over the page, David Leslie, Jim Delios, Michael Angus, John Nicolau, and Matthew Hill, who finally got some points and finally got through a race without getting pinged by race control at some point as well. Not the first race, the second. There. Wow. A great championship shaping up here. There's no doubt about that. We've just gone 10 o'clock on the East Coast, and we'll continue through until 10:15, 10:30 here as we wrap up this round of the championship. Lads, let's go to you, because I haven't had a proper chance to chat with you just yet, apart from that quick chat at the end of race 1. Qualifying, race 1, everything went perfect, with the exception of that little slip-up in race 2. It went well as well. Just talk us through the argy-bargy, the potential hip and shoulder coming through the mid-pack there, because I tell you what, it was fascinating to watch from our commentary box, the fast guys. And you got boxed in there on a couple of occasions. They weren't too keen to let you pass 2 by 2 through tight sections of the circuit. It was incredible to watch. Was it frustrating for you not being able to find a way by, or were you enjoying the hip and shoulder stuff?
To be honest, it was a little frustrating at times, but it was good fun at the same time. So I love a bit of a challenge. So yeah, some of the guys made it extra hard for us, but that's okay. It's all part of racing. I didn't expect anyone to hand it on a platter for me, so I'll go fight it and get it.
That's the whole thing, isn't it, lads? You know, and me from a back marker point of view, is that we have our own races to race. You guys have got your races to race. We've got to keep an eye out for you and let you through as best we can without detrimenting our own races. So, I mean, hats off to the guys that come through.
I mean, no one has to let us pass. It's not they're not getting blue flagged, so everyone's fighting for position. So a lot of respect for everyone that I race against. And in a reverse grid, you usually get to race with people that you don't usually get to race with at the front. So
indeed it is. No, very nicely done, mates. Just looking back on all of that, you said as we got into the night and we got through that first race, you said it was about limiting the potential for damage, trying to stay out of trouble. You did all of that. You ticked all the right boxes. You're rewarded with what's now a 100-point lead in the championship. Do you now start to feel as though you're starting to wrap a couple of fingers around the trophy?
You can never relax. Anything can happen in the last 5 rounds still.
Right.
Last one being double points. the enduro at Mount Panorama. Anything can happen. So trying to keep my nose clean and trying to get those bonus points in extended.
Indeed. I'll come back to you, mate, very shortly. Alex Court, it's interesting what Chris Kisby was mentioning there, and you can tell me to go jump if you want to, but why have we ditched the soft drink, and how are you finding it? Is it sending you a little bit crazy? Because I must admit the withdrawals I had about 7 years ago when the dentist forced me to give up Coca-Cola. That was savage, to say the very least. But what was the inspiration behind ditching the soft drink, please?
Yeah, look, it was just something I wanted to try, talking with my counsellor, and just like, if you could make one small change in your life, like, what would be the easiest thing to do? So I was like, well, I'll give soft drink a go, and it started with going 1 week.
Yep.
And yeah, just kept going from there. So today actually makes day 31 of no soft drink at all.
Well done, mate. Well, and I will mention there, guys, you've got to watch what you put on Facebook, because you give us plenty of ammunition to sit there and use in our race commentary.
Well,
so we do listen and we do watch. Within reason, mate.
It gives Kisby ammunition anyway. No, it's interesting because I've been following it as well. I've been getting the daily update, day 25, day 26. Here we go. Good stuff. Obviously, the count will continue, so keep an eye out on Alex Court's Facebook, folks. It's like he's counting up, and the rest of us are counting down to the Olympics. It's fantastic how the countdown and count ups are working at the moment. It's but I was exactly. But I was going to say the other thing. Actually, no. Just take a step back. It's too bloody early to start talking about Christmas. Just on all of that, though. Just on all of that. Good luck with it, because it's not an easy thing. However, I will say this: after getting through the first month, now that you've done that, it starts to get a little bit easier. It just depends on how dependent you were on it beforehand. And I know, as someone who should have had more sugar hits today than he did to get himself through the broadcast tonight, I can relate to it immensely. Yep. Good work. Now, as far as Riley Simon Vella, and Robert Christo are concerned, because this is the first time I've had a chance to have a chat to you guys post race, I'm really interested to get your thoughts. Riley, what have you made of the series so far? I mean, as you said, relatively new to the sim racing game. How do you feel you've fared so far, and how much of a help have the teammates been, and what are you hoping to achieve out of the rest of the season?
Yeah, like this series in itself is unreal to be a part of. It makes it feel like, you're actually racing. Considering I gave up my full-time racing career at the start of last year, this has sort of just rejigged the vibe a bit, and, keeps me involved, keeps me active, and keeps my head in the game.
What's a ballpark figure for you, as far as, because obviously we saw you guys hovering down there, you and Simon, down the bottom half of the field, down towards 25th to 30th. What are you hoping to achieve across the course of the next 5 rounds? Where would a good finishing position be for you if all things were going to go fair and equal and play out the way you expect them to? What's the ballpark?
I know in myself, if I can get the practice in without, being busy full-time with work, I can run the top 10 pretty comfortably, but it's just getting the time to practice to actually get that result.
Before I even get to Simon on that, lads, you and I speak about that every couple of weeks, don't we? Just that dependence that some people have on getting that time in the sim to give themselves some confidence, to give themselves some momentum, and a little bit of a psychological thing, isn't it? But there are some people who, if they've been out of the sim for a month, and we saw an example of that last week in the Gentlemen's Sim Racing Club, didn't we, Kisby? In Michael Schrayer, you've been out of the sim for a month, you can just hop back in and instantly be on it. But it's different horses for different courses, not one method is it going to suit everybody, and it works vice versa, doesn't it, Laz?
Yeah, it does. For me to fine-tune my collie time, I need some extra time on the sim. Just getting that every little bit on the track to my advantage. But if you're not chasing pole positions and things like that, you don't have to have a lot of time on the seat. I can have a couple of hours on the seat and still probably be in the top 10.
What are you saying, Kisby?
I said I'll disagree with that. Even if you're not chasing
Yeah.
pole positions and that, you're trying to still get the best time that you can to get further up the field to try and stay in front of the guys that you are actually racing. And it does, and that works from position 1 right through to the very last position. If you're on there, and a big note on that is Vanessa. You've watched Vanessa through this season, and she's had put the time in. And some, as you say, some people can do it straight off, do it practice. I can't. I know Vanessa can't, and a couple of others that are that's in there can't. We cannot get onto a track and just sit there and drive like some of these guys. But I'm much like Laz. I'm not going for pole positions. I'm always looking to better my time though than I did in the last couple of things. So that's tagging on to what Laz was saying there, Jack.
Indeed, it is. We'll continue the discussion here. I just want to bring in Robert Christel and Simon Vella while they're here, and stick around, boys, because you're going to get to give your sponsors a plug here in just a few moments. But Robert, we've seen you with good pace. You had a pretty amazing run during the Goodyear Autocover Run Bathurst 1000 last year, if memory serves. But obviously, there's something there that's separating you from being with Laz and Alex at the top of the table. What do you put it down to? And are you happy with how things have gone this season, or are you expecting a little bit more?
Oh, it's probably old age. Probably I don't know. That's what they call me, pops in the team. I think I don't know, but I don't know. It's I think I am a little bit disappointed where I am at the moment, because I've had a few races where I should have really finished top 5. Either circumstances out of my control or my own undoing, I've ended up, finishing 16th or 17th, where I've been in the top 5 position, probably 3 of the races. That's where it all starts to fall apart, and it's what Laz does. He's very consistent. So, Laz is a great team leader. Alex does a great job backing him up. I've probably been lucky to be in the team with those two that they push each other. We all push each other behind the scenes. I'm always ribbing Laz about I've got a fast lap, and he just comes out next minute and says, see you later. So,
I know that clearly.
But it's good though. We all push each other. I never really got into the supercars, to be honest, because prior to the latest cars, I thought they were rubbish. So I kept doing GT racing. I've been on this iRacing since 2008, and GT racing was always my thing. So I've done, this track's. I know this track by the back of my hands. Silverstone, all the tracks coming up are all tracks I know. And since the time was changed, I've got my interest back in it again. And of course, like anything, if you start doing laps, you start getting a handle of these cars. So, So if I finish, I don't know, at the moment, I'm inside the top 10. My goal to be inside the top 10 to start, but I was hoping more top 5. So we'll see how we go, where we end up with by Bathurst.
Just very quickly on that, Robert. The same thing with me is probably the same with you. The great satisfaction that we get as lower drivers beating these top guys. I mean, I've done it a couple of times where they've crashed out.
Hang on. I was beating Laz before that.
Okay.
I've got time to show I was beating Laz, and very, very quickly he's showing me. Where are you now?
Yeah.
Okay, point taken. Carry on, Zach. I'll get to me hole.
Thank you, Chris. But stay there, because I'll get some driver of the night comments from you very shortly. Where are we? 10:14. We're going to get to 10:30 in the end, ladies and gentlemen. How about that? Managed to stretch it out on a night where I didn't think any of that was possible. All right, let's continue on here, because I've got a couple more questions to come. Simon Vella. So obviously Robert's just answered the main question that I was targeting there, which is what is he hoping to achieve throughout the rest of the season. But Robert, now that you got the first win, the first monkey off the back, surely you'd be eyeing off 2, 3, maybe 4 or 5 before too long.
Yeah, definitely another one. I don't know about 3, 4, 5, but hey, I won't say no. But
hey, you just talked yourself up. Keep going.
I don't think very realistic, but I don't know, definitely another one I'll be hoping for by the end of the year. So we'll see what happens, I guess. So
indeed, we will. Simon, same comments or same question directed at you for some comments with regards to your season thus far. Obviously, maybe not as competitive as you might have liked to have been when you look at the championship standings, but I mean, that result tonight, the double third, that must give you a tremendous amount of confidence. You take a bit of momentum out of this going into the final 5 rounds of the season. What are you hoping to achieve out of this next 5 weeks? And are you happy with how things have fared thus far, or would you have expected better from the first 12 rounds of the season?
Yeah, happy with how everything's going so far. I didn't start until round 6. I missed the first 5 races, so we can get into the top 20. I'd be really happy with that by the season end.
And as for next week, before I focus on Laz and Alex here as the 2 championship leaders, what are your expectations going into the Donington Park? I'll start with you, Simon, then I'll go to Riley and Robert.
As in for next round?
Yeah, sorry, did I say Donington? No, Silverstone. Silverstone's
Yes,
next
yeah.
up. My Christ, I'm having a shocker. Apologies, folks. Still, I'm looking. I'm getting mixed up because I'm looking at the track map and it's Donington. Silverstone's the next stop, and we've got Brands Hatch a couple of weeks after that. So Silverstone next week. Obviously, it's a 5.912 kilometre circuit. All that info we know. It's just I need to probably stop talking. Let's go with you, Simon. What are your thoughts on Silverstone, please?
Aim to try and qualify in the top 10, and anything higher would be a bonus, and race on from there. Happy to get a podium, get that monkey off my back, and see if we can keep moving more forward.
Given that Silverstone's a 5.9 kilometre course, I'm suspecting we'll be racing for 27, maybe 28 laps next Tuesday night. So stick around for that, folks. Looking forward to it immensely. Riley Simons, your thoughts on the next round, please?
If I can hopefully qualify in the top 20, that'd be nice for the first time of the year, and have a clean race and just make my way forward.
Robert Christel, I mean, you've got a little bit to live up to now after your reverse grid race win. What do you expect out of Silverstone, and what are you hoping for?
Well, like I said, I've done a lot of GT racing around here, so hoping that it's been good stand for qualifying. Top 10, maybe a bit higher, but definitely somewhere near the top 5 the next round. So I put a thing on my shoulder now. I've said it. So, but yeah, I mean, I've done, I don't know, thousands of laps around this place. So we'll see.
All right, mate. Nicely
Supercars
done.
are different kettle of fish to GT racing. So
Indeed, they are. Alex and Laz, let's come to you. 5 rounds to go. You sit first and second. I think on count back, once we see drop rounds come into play, you're still going to be first and second because those around you have not been as consistent, or they've had a 0-point score, or whatever the case may be. You two are in very good stead to take the NTS team to 1-2 on the podium. Laz, what's the plan of attack with Silverstone? Because I mean, tonight you navigated all the obstacles and everything as best as you possibly could, as beautifully as you possibly could. You got through unscathed, which was exactly what you needed to do. Now we've just got 5 straight out sprints, well, 4 sprints and an enduro to get through.
Yeah, next week's gonna be interesting because it's not a track I'm really strong at or I actually like, but I should be able to find some pace and hopefully put the car as far up the front as possible. Hopefully a top 5, and just a matter of banking points now.
Alex, your thoughts on next week before we get you guys to thank some sponsors and we wrap up here? I'm getting the wind up, boys.
Yeah, looking forward to next week. Haven't raced at Silverstone since the last time we did V8 there, so get stuck into practice this week, and yeah, 100% looking forward to it.
Indeed. All right, nicely done. Let's throw it around the room. Hang on, someone's already left. Robert Christel, I'll let you start and thank some sponsors here. I know you gave them a little bit of a plug earlier, but it's your go.
Yeah, well, obviously thanks to SimShared Broadcasting, Nationwide Tracking or Technology Systems. Thanks, Craig, for changing it. Goodyear Autocar, Kia Warana, Dragon RC, DCL Welding Services, Abruzzi Australia, VR Covers, Cars for Hope, Racing with Autism Australia, and my wife's company, Blue Stampede Labour Hire.
All right, Simon, as we've lost Riley, and I apologise, I didn't realise that he was on a time frame there, but Simon, the floor is yours, mate.
Yeah, just want to thank Century Motorsport, HRS, Fuchs, and KFC.
Laz and Alex. We'll go to Alex first, and Laz is the round winner. You can bring us home.
Yeah, so as always, Racing with Autism Australia, all sorts of disability services, SimShed Broadcasting, Nationwide Technology Services, Goodyear Auto Care Arana, Dragon RC, DSL Welding, Rootsy Simware Australia, VR Cover, Cars for Hope, Blue Stampede Labour Hire, always my teammates and my family. And also, I just want to give a little shout out to Jax Hayden, Aaron Hayden, my crew chief's son, who had a small trip to hospital tonight. So, wishing him a speedy recovery.
Absolutely. No, our sentiments passed on too from the entire team here at SimShed Broadcasting. We passed on our best wishes. Hey, Alex, just before I get to Laz, didn't get your thoughts on Silverstone. Got Laz's, didn't get yours because I thought while I was being wound up, it was just that Riley Simons had to duck off, and I don't think he's coming back. So, Alex, your thoughts on Silverstone before we wrap up here.
Yeah, no, look, looking forward to it. So, yeah, it's a pretty good track, nice flowy kind of track, which suits me quite a bit. So, yeah, forward to it.
All right, fantastic. And Laz, you've got the floor, mate. Bring it home. Another round win. We're starting to get used to this.
Thanks, mate. SimShed Broadcasting, Nationwide Tracking Systems, Goodyear Auto Care Arana, Dragon RC, DSL Welding Services, Abruzzi Australia, VR Covers, Cars for Hope, Racing for Autism Australia, and Blue Stampede Labour Hire. I want to give a big shout out for my team. The guys really pushed each other this week, find time on this track when we don't have official races. So big shout out for them. Everyone's getting faster in the team, which is great to see.
Nicely done. Hey, look forward to catching up with you gentlemen again next week. Really looking forward to the next round of the championship. Of course, Silverstone, Road Atlanta's in there, Spa, Brands Hatch. We've got some really good circuits to come before we get to Mount Panorama on June 8th. And I know you guys will be part of all the action as per usual here on SimShed Broadcasting. That's the first one of May in the book, ladies and gentlemen. Don't get me started on the date. I stitched up some Star Wars people this morning by going fishing and said May the 4th, and I'm not going to finish the rest because it can't be repeated on air. And they all took the bait because as a Star Wars fan or a non-Star Wars fan in my case, you kind of get sick of May the 4th very, very quickly. Anyway, so that's the first one of May for us in the books. Next week is lucky round number 13. Hopefully it will be lucky for somebody. Hopefully it'll be better for us as well. Apologies, folks. None of us, apart from JP and Chris Kisby on our game tonight. Matt Davis and I just having a little bit of trouble getting through here. But there's the rest of the schedule for you. 8:20 Australian Eastern Standard Time, Tuesday the 11th of May. Silverstone, 29 laps the journey. There you go. I wasn't too far off. 29 laps the journey next week to get us up towards that 150 kilometre mark, and looking forward to it immensely. 20 laps for the GAC race on the Wednesday night. Tomorrow night, they're back in action, of course, with a 26 lapper from here at Donington Park. Or actually, no, it will be 26 laps, but it will be split into two, of course, or the final SuperSprint round of the season. Crisby, I'm having an absolute shocker here. Get me out of this.
Okay.
Give me a driver of the
Tuesday.
night nomination, please.
Yeah. Tonight's driver nomination. I'm
Yes,
going to
please.
surprise you here, mate. It's Simon Zeller for the exact same reasons that you had. So, you couldn't really surpass that.
Not at all. No, he drove beautifully. 31st to 3rd in that second race, and of course, 6th to 3rd in the first race, and really was the only bloke that offered any resistance to Lassif Leonage and Alex Court in that first race. They bolted, and he was the only one that sort of tried to go with them. He wasn't able to in the end, but not many people can on there when those guys are on there very much on. In the end, the margin was 4.2, and he was 3 seconds clear of the rest of the pack. Blake Urquhart, etc. Actually, that was not as bad run from Blake Urquhart in the first race. He got back to 6th in the second race as well. So give him an honourable mention too. Well done, mate. Thank you for that. A big final thank you to all of the people that make it possible for us to do what we do. Nationwide Tracking Systems, Racecraft Simulations, Blue Stampede Labour Hire, I said Nationwide Tracking Systems. It's Nationwide Technology Systems now, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to catch me out another 15 times until I change this bloody PDF document, let me tell you. TGM, Parramatta, Dragon RC, and Abruzzi. Track camps for Gourmet, and of course, Melbourne Hydrographics Depot. So we appreciate all of them for their ongoing support of Steamshed Broadcasting, our coverage of the NTS V8 Super Series, which continues next Tuesday night for you for reasons we've already explained from Silverstone in England, 8:20 Australian Eastern Standard Time. Tomorrow night, 8:20 Australian Eastern Standard Time from here at Donington Park. It'll be the Goodyear V8 T2 E Series, and the Weekend Warriors, our new baby on a Saturday night from Phoenix this week on the back of Iowa last week, 7:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Join Aiden Schultz for that one. All the very best to the boys throughout the course of the week, commentating the rest of the
I
racing.
might have to have a look at that one.
Yeah, I may be back next Tuesday. I might get the sack after tonight. We'll wait and see. But it's been good fun all the same. Hope you've enjoyed it, and looking forward to plenty more where that came from. Before we go, quick well wishes need to be sent to our colleague Andrew Collins, who finds himself resting up in the hospital at the moment. Andrew and his car come off second best after an encounter with a kangaroo in recent days, and he's been resting up for the last short while. So hopefully he'll be back on deck in the next couple of weeks, back in the commentary box with Matt on a Wednesday night. But if not, obviously JP will be in there with Matt on a Wednesday night. And JP actually did a nice job leading last week from Charlotte, actually, with a little bit of help that he had along the way there. So he had no choice in the end. All the options. There were no short straws left. All the options were gone. He literally had to pluck himself out of the producer booth into the broadcast booth. But no, nicely handled there.
Well
nothing
Thank
worse.
you, JP.
Nothing worse than when you've got an entire roster of commentators and not one single commentator is available.
I don't know
You think you got all the options and all the angles covered? No.
Look out, Mike. I don't know whether you heard it then, but look out. There's an almighty storm coming your way.
Oh, marvellous. That's great. A blackout. That's just what I want to finish the night. Chris Kisby, thank you as always. Appreciate that. Appreciate your patience and your company tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for bearing with us through some almighty gibberish, especially on my part, but we got there in the end. Lassif Leonage wins the round. Alex Court goes second. And, of course, Simon Vella in for third. Really good round of action. The NTS V8 Super Series, round 12 from Donington Park, our final super sprint of the season. And well done to Robert Crisdale on getting his first win in that second reverse grid race of the championship. So, 14 races down, 5 to go. Lassif Leonage, I reckon he's got one finger on the title, but he's not willing to call it just yet. On behalf of the entire broadcast and production team here from Simshed Broadcasting, thanks for your company, and we'll see you next Tuesday as the Nationwide Tracking Systems enters the run to the checkered flag. The final 5 rounds over the next 5 weeks should be well worth the price of admission. In the meantime, stand by, of course, for tomorrow night's coverage of the GAC Series and the Weekend Warriors on Saturday night. Until then, bye for now.
Bye.